We continue with our isolation interviews, this time heading to Rosehill for the Group 1 day of racing. We've joined Lizzie Jelfs, who's on track for Sky today. Lizzie, congratulations. Last weekend, I'm excited, Galaxy at 26-1. How do you do it?
Thank you very much. Yeah, no, it was she's a great mare, and it was great to see her able to get her Group 1 on her CV, and really good for David Pfeiffer as well. But just looking for fitness and looking to see when they're at their peak, I guess just knowing them really well is something that I think is beneficial when you're looking at them every preparation.
Okay, so I guess we're going to take you out of that comfort zone a little bit with looking at the horses, because you wouldn't have had a chance to assess them yet today. But you do your form as well. A couple of Group 1s there today. First of all, the Tancred Stakes Race 6. How are you assessing this race?
Yeah, look, it's one of those races where there's a number of horses who I think are really going to love the 2400 meters. But I've been so impressed with how Very Elegant, like most people, has been able to return this preparation. I feel like her biggest asset now is that she's able to position herself a lot closer to the speed. So she's not so much out of her races out the back and dawdling along, and her finishing sectionals are dependent on tempo. She's able to sit closer. So I really feel that this is a race that's ready made for her. I thought last week she just got into a bit of a dogfight with a horse that just had that little bit more staying prowess. But this week, I feel that if she turns up in the same form as last week, and that's obviously if she is backs up okay, then I think she's going to be a real good thing today.
Yeah, what have you made of Avilius coming through, Lizzie?
He has looked excellent all the way through. I just feel that he's probably a horse that appreciates getting on a soft surface, so he's getting that today. The track is a bit of a contentious issue, in my opinion, because we've had such a sort of an irritating time with rain over the last 3 weekends. We had that really big downpour 3 weekends ago, and that sort of made the track very chopped up. Then last week, we really damaged it again. We're out to 6 meters today. And that's probably my biggest concern with all of these horses today, is who's going to handle the track, because it is damaged. We are dealing with a softer surface. So it's not necessarily the wet trackers that handle it. It's the horses that handle this sort of shifty, uncertain surface. So with him, he could go on it. I wouldn't be surprised. He's in great order looking at him, but he's better off actually asking him sometimes whether he's going to go or not.
Exactly. Yeah, the gun fillies go around in the binary, which is the next of our Group 1's race 7. Obviously, our Kiwi star and Probabile takes on her arch nemesis in Funstar. Geez, they've had some battles so far, haven't they?
They have. I was so impressed with how she finished off a couple of weeks ago. She was incredible. She had no authority to be able to finish off the way she did. And I thought at the back she was going to be sort of really struggling in that ground, but she's dug deep and shows how in what great form she is at the moment. Looking at her, I don't think there's a lot of improvement in her. The one thing I will say, that she was so fresh in the yard last week and a couple of weeks ago, and I think one of the issues is that she's actually was kept a bit fresh for that race. Now out to the 2000 meters for the first time. I'm really looking forward to seeing how she goes. I don't necessarily think it's a 2-horse race. I think there's a couple of other horses that could go quite nicely in this. I thought Subpoenaed is going well. Miss I Mantra hasn't done anything wrong either. So look, it could be a one-act affair with Funstar, but I think that there's too much class and quality for you to completely write everything else off.
Okay, yeah, decent undercard there. As we know, this time of year, it's always like that. Is there something, is a particular horse who you might have sort of noticed starting to furnish, or something on the undercard that you can maybe throw out for us?
There is, yeah. In the Tulloch Stakes, which is race 3, there's a horse that I've liked all the way through, but I just feel he's been in the wrong races. Fortress Command. He's a horse trained by Gerald Ryan. He's run in all the Group 1s this preparation. And now he steps back to a Group 2. It's over the 2000 meters. And I think that he's been finishing off really well, and he's just getting towards his peak fitness. So if he parades well, he'd have to go into my numbers somewhere. And there's a few other horses in that race who look very nice types and improving types, but he's exactly the same, and he's good each way odds.
Okay, well, you've been the eyes for everyone who isn't able to get on track at the moment. Once we do get back on track, what are the tips you give to someone who might be just sort of peering across the birdcage fence and maybe just trying to pick one out on fitness and type?
I guess the biggest aspect that I think when you're looking at a horse is there's 3 things. There's temperament, which is you want them to have a nice temperament and want to be there. It's not necessarily that they're walking around docile, but you want them to be happy and in a good frame of mind. The second is their coat. You always want to see a really healthy coat. We always go on about coats and this, but it's essentially, it's your skin. It's what you look like. Good hair, good nails, good skin. That's what everyone says when you're healthy. And that's what you're looking for in a horse. And then, of course, knowing their walk is very important as well. So if they have a shuffly walk and that's how they walk all the time, that's how they walk. If they have a loose action and they're walking shuffly, that's not how they should be walking. So changes in action is something that you have to have a look for as well. But my biggest tip is just go with what you like, because that's generally, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Well, hopefully you can get us another I'm excited from your
No
judge
pressure.
Exactly. I appreciate you coming on board with us for our social media channels back here in New Zealand, and we'll look out for you in the coverage today, Lizzie.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me.